All right, I haven't even had a chance to read some of this stuff, but we got, Kevin LaChapelle was kind enough to send some stuff from the, I guess it's an executive order from the governor.
And by the way, he's on at 1 o'clock. I don't know if anybody knew that.
On TV?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not know that.
So it was right.
Also-
I forwarded you the executive order this morning.
A little memo from Gordon McDonald, the Attorney General, as well. So, some of these things are kind of required reading before delivering too much. We want to make copies of some of this stuff, or I think probably makes sense.
Want me to do that, Chief?
That's what it was for next year. From the school side, but it impacts this meeting as well as the guidance. Busy day.
Yeah, it's a Sunday. That's fine. Is it? I heard from somebody that the school board is planning on having a meeting tomorrow night.
Actually, we had that this morning. In the school's policy, what we passed then was school is shut down to unauthorized personnel as of this point, minus our fire committee meeting because it was, or the town meeting if you choose, because that was established.
Yeah.
The implementation process is being addressed. Tomorrow is considered like a snow day, so no students, no paras, no teachers in it. Tuesday is going to be a professional development day, so still no students while we figure out an implementation program. The school is essentially going to be shut down until the end of March.
Okay, how about the meeting itself? Was there a discussion about the meeting?
That's pending your guidance, and we're looking for your guidance on that because you're the one who has to call it. We would like to postpone it.
Yeah, okay. All right, so one moment. All right, so the first most important thing to look at as a group convening here is the statute on this. Under RSA 40:4, duties of the moderator. They changed this recently because of the question about the weather that we had a couple years ago. We had an event coming and some of the moderators wanted to change elections. That's different than changing the meeting. You know, less flexibility with changing the election day than you do with meetings. In this case, my understanding is that the governor and others took the step of it has to be National Weather Service issues a weather event, or if there's a danger due to the building or condition of the roads or something. They've extended that to include, in this case, the coronavirus issue. Yeah, so whatever it is that we decide, we can probably support. There is, however, some other guidance that we are getting here as Mike is handing some of this stuff out, so that we have to, at least as a group, have read and considered as part of this discussion. The duties of the moderator is to make sure that, in this case, that we get what I understand the following people together to discuss it. So I can't just do it on my own accord. I have to do it in collaboration with the governing body, which is the commissioners. They recommended for the fire chief, 2 police chiefs, and if appropriate, the emergency management directors, which just happens to be you guys anyway, so that's perfect, and the clerk. So we have the right people in the room to make a decision. If we want to, if we can. I didn't specifically try to get the selectmen from the select boards from the 2 towns together because it's. I didn't want to have a couple guys can make a couple can or something. I'd rather. We didn't have enough time. I didn't even have time to get my act together to cover this, so we didn't have enough time to get all those groups together. If we want, and we think it's that important, we can do that either in a call or another meeting later in the day.
I'd say go ahead with what we got.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's not even their committees. It's going to be
It's the district.
it's district meetings, right?
All right. So does,
Yeah, there you got one representative.
yes, exactly, yeah, right, and I knew that to be the case too, right? Yeah.
I was sworn in yesterday.
Right. So does everybody have a copy of this email? It was to me from Chuck Mitchell. And he was kind enough to share this thing from Steve Buckley at the New
Yes.
Hampshire Municipal Association. Now, this is a forward from something. So let's just take a moment and read that. Right, so bearing in mind that this particular piece of guidance comes from Steve Buckley, who's plenty competent, but he's also New Hampshire Municipal Association and not the State Attorney General's office or the Governor's office. And he also, in the very first bullet, says he can make a decision to postpone at any time prior to the scheduled meeting. That's not true. The statute says 2 hours before the meeting. So, yeah, just
But I mean, it says that we have to do it within 72 hours, which is.
Up
way
to 2 hours, but not more than 48 prior.
no, that's
This here is
SB2.
saying 72.
That's if it's an SB2 delivered at 7, and we're not.
We're not.
We're not asking
No.
I
The
realize
statute
I'm reading it
says
right here, 48-4.
the moderator may up to 2 hours, but not more than 48 hours prior to the scheduled session, postpone or reschedule. That's the statute. So his guidance here, I mean, it all is pretty good stuff, but that's not the statute. What they're recommending is that we would, other than the folks that we have here today, we would include the health officer in that conversation. But they also say we should talk to the district's council. Who is that still John?
Well, we
Dean is ours.
use a number of councils, but we don't have one specifically that we use all the time. We might use Fitzgerald up in Laconia, or Sean, Chandler.
Sean's the most common.
Sean's the one that's the most common.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's the
okay.
one we can
But,
see.
but we don't have an official
Okay.
district council.
All right. The only one I've ever talked to representing the fire district was Sean.
Right.
So that's fine. I guess since we don't have one in particular, I'm a little less concerned about it. All right, so the next most important bit of reading is the memo from Gordon McDonald, the Attorney General.
Looks like that's.
Yep, there it is.
is saying a lot about town meeting, but this is,
It's
This
the same
follows,
thing.
this follows
Yeah,
under the
okay.
same thing,
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you receive emails to info at Tnfd?
Yes.
Yes.
This one
Could
is
you-
covered.
I just sent a couple, and the one that had the governor's, the attorney general's memo, there was other stuff in that email. which I-
Okay, well, let's see.
Thanks, yeah.
This one says that we have to, requires that postponement shall not delay the deliberation session more than 72 hours.
But that's only if it's an SB2 town.
Oh.
Yeah,
All right, so let's go with that. Does
So-
it say anything about if we're not an SB2? What our delayment is required?
Yeah, the rest of the memo refers, it's just those two bullets that refer to.
Oh, okay.
There was a little more to one of those emails, which I
Which
apparently
is funny,
didn't.
that's right there, I'm not seeing SB2, and that says the 2 to 48.
Right.
And I could be interpreting wrong, but that's the 40-4 that I'm citing in it.
That's elections, that's not the same thing.
Oh, okay, and that's why I wanted a second light.
Yeah.
Election.
Okay.
So 40:4 is the statute.
Is there-
So, I mean, among the most important things that we have the meeting for is to approve the budget. I don't know what it's like to be a commissioner and try to run the place without an approved budget. I don't know how that works. But that's something that we have to consider, and that's part of why they say you should be talking to your district's council to understand the legal ramifications.
I'll get the first chapter in case I'm reading it wrong.
So, without a budget, we're basically operating on our, what's in our undesignated fund balance.
it's just like us. I mean,
From
we've been running
January
on a ghost budget
From
since
January.
January until yesterday.
We're kind of used to that.
Right.
Okay, so it's not something that, how long do you think you can go like that? I mean, because everybody keeps saying it's gonna get worse before it gets better. Yeah.
Basically, we go through about $50,000 a week here. Round numbers. Given what we have in the bank, and given that Tilton has sent us a payment for this year, even though we don't have a bill, so we should be good for another month or so anyways.
Okay.
But my feeling is that, I mean, you're running on a ghost budget, you
Yeah.
call it.
Kind of
We
the
do
same
it.
as we do.
I don't see the town of Tilton or Northfield really getting upset because of what's going
That's why I
on.
wanted to set eyes on it.
If this wait until June, say, that now, they vote on the budget, you're not gonna not get it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's my
we
own
get it. If worst comes to worst, we can do, we can borrow anticipation of taxes.
Yeah.
Well, isn't typically if your new budget isn't approved,
It's the
you
fall.
work with last year's budget until it gets approved.
And ironically, last year's operating budget was higher than this year's proposed operating
And you're
budget.
safe until it's approved.
So if you get into a no pass with contracts and stuff like that, you still revert to the previous establishment is your guideline.
I know in an SB2 there's a default, but we're not SB2, so I don't know what exactly the statute would be on that. So I could find out.
I mean,
Like I say,
you
we're
gotta
good for another month.
Right,
anyways.
right.
You know,
Yeah, and we do.
yeah.
So my biggest concern relative to postponing the meeting, among other things though, is that we don't know when it's actually gonna take place. It's gonna get worse, and we could be months out, potentially. Charlie Mitchell was telling me that a couple of towns that he was aware of postponed their town meeting until May, and one even until June, which is really something, I mean,
Marlboro went to April.
okay.
Well, there's a lot of towns that their town meetings goes from June to June. I mean, their
Right,
budget.
maybe that's it.
they're not
Their
calendar.
their federal, fiscal years,
Yeah,
July 1st to
Right.
June 30th.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
But I know for a fact that Marlboro was supposed to be yesterday, and they postponed that to April 18th.
Loudon's the same way, Loudon PD.
Yep,
So if you go through Channel 9, all the different towns, it'll say like Loudon town offices, And you click on it, it tells you what, like, the town meeting is postponed to a date, Molten Borough did the same thing.
Yeah,
Potentially, you could go to mid-April, 1 month out, and if more guidance came down, because that's how the school district kind of looked at it, where right now we're through the end of March. Pending more guidance coming down, we may have to shift to the right. I don't know statutory if we would be catching into something, but as an option, you could go 1 month postponement of everything. And then if more state of emergency guidance came down at the 2 week, 3 week marking point, reassess and reestablish if you had to go longer, but at least set something, not too far out but still as an option.
right. So, one of the things we would have to do, if we were going to announce postponement, would be to set the time and date certain.
Yes.
That's hard to do because, I mean, the school district meeting, they've got a lot more say in whether or not they're going to bump somebody from the space to hold the meeting. So we have to decide on someplace, either try to get a hold of them and get their schedule, or we just plan on it being someplace else that we know we can get in the meantime. Because I would, if we're going to make this decision, I mean, obviously we can do it anytime up till 2 hours before, but I'd rather do it tonight to get as many people.
Yeah, because we already get the notices
Yes.
out and everything.
Right,
That would be the idea.
Especially for Monday morning, you know, I mean, people.
yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for this, Kathy.
You're welcome.
That's the one from
That's the
the
one,
governor.
yeah, that's what I was looking for.
The governor.
Like I said,
Governor directs all New Hampshire schools to temporarily close, turn to remote learning. 6 new cases.
Oh,
yeah,
I heard 7 this morning, so yeah.
So that's 7 was the total before.
it
Now
was
it's
the total
13.
before.
Okay.
Now it's 13.
School calendar year
And
2019.
here you go, here's your exponential growth.
Yeah.
Yep.
Where you're gonna start going.
Exactly.
Yep.
By Wednesday, it'll be 100.
Mm-hmm.
Hope not.
I hope not either, but
I hope not as well.
you had someone at the Manchester Tnfd all day.
Probably that's what we do is, get a watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Plymouth shut down their police department to the public
Like for visitors.
for visitors.
For visitors.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's what
yes.
we're putting on there too.
Yeah.
Are you?
You can call us instead of,
I know, wish we could do that at town hall. I don't know how we would do that though. Come walk up to the window and slide your registration through the window.
Well, one of the things we're implementing, because free lunch and free breakfast for the special population, is our food service is working on take-home bags with microwavable meals, but you have to have them isolated from one another. And literally, we're going to be doing like the drive-up testing. Same thing. The car will pull up. They'll identify who they are. The meal will be isolated back, and it will be a drop-in, and it will have the breakfast for the ones who do that the following day. But that's in the prepping process. We have to screen everyone, proper hand washing, proper gloves, everything to make sure that we don't become a cross-contaminant.
Right.
So that's something we have to implement, but because certain students are entitled to that free meal, we still have to maintain that for our population.
What
So-
happens, sorry, John.
Yeah.
What happens if the school says no one's allowed in school for 60 days?
Actually, currently, that's where we're at for 2 weeks.
I know, but
Authorized
we're talking a
personnel.
month, but let's say the school comes back and says no
We
one's
could
allowed
send
in
it out.
school.
Right.
Yeah, that's why I was saying, we might have to pick someplace other than the school for a date certain.
Veterans Home has community built.
They're not gonna allow
I
people.
would-
They're not letting people
I
in.
just-
Sorry, great idea.
Just idea, but they
They're gonna have
don't.
tank
No,
up.
They're a little vulnerable.
They're gonna have a tank out.
Yes.
on Facebook right now.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
that's
think
fair.
they
I
could put
did-
a squash on there, going to the veterans home.
Yeah, I
They
think
have
so
to.
too.
the Pines, I don't know what
Nursing
they'll
homes
do.
are all,
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
the
pretty sure
Pines-
we could get the Pines, but we could also, we could, if we had to, we could say the fire department, right? In Northfield, you just back trucks out, because we've done it there before. I mean, we know we have a building, right?
Yeah.
So I don't
Keep
think
the
it's
doors open, let
ideal,
the virus go out if
but-
we have it.
you know.
Yeah, outdoor meeting.
um,
For the fines.
19th
or-
hole at Beachside, I don't know.
Yeah, so I was just reading the executive order here. Where does it say that schools have to be, all schools shut down for 2 weeks?
They just
I
got
just
this
got
notice.
this on
So it just
WMRI, the
It was on
governor
the
just
news, the
had
governor, it was in his speech today.
Okay,
Yeah,
So it just came from Channel 9.
okay.
this was from the
Probably
church.
wouldn't be bad if we could watch it right
Yeah, I know. Is it? Oh, what is he?